What's going on, everybody? Hope all of you are safe during these crazy times that we're living in. So many different things have been happening this year, and I kind of wanted to make this video about what it's like to wholesale in 2020. What have been some struggles that I've gone through, what have been some things that have stood in my path, as well as what's been happening around us in general. I mean, things have been absolutely crazy. If you've been following the news or even just seeing what's happening out in the world right now, people are struggling to survive, struggling to live, and businesses are struggling to survive. A lot of businesses have closed down and will never reopen. So before we jump in, of course, if you're watching me on Instagram, shoot me a like, as well as if you're watching me on YouTube, like, subscribe, and hit the little bell notification icon down here. That way you can be notified every time I drop a new video. I haven't dropped a video in a couple of weeks now. I went on vacation. I had to. It's been really working hard, so I just haven't had time to post anything. But there has been quite a few struggles that I've gone through this year. What has changed in the whole climate of things? We started off the year absolutely banging. I mean, we came in with a bang. We were, stock market was rising, people were making money, and a lot of great, opportunities were around for people to make money, especially in, new businesses. A lot of new businesses had opened up or were in the process of opening up. And then all of a sudden, just out of the blue, coronavirus.
Now to growing concerns about the deadly coronavirus officially hitting the U.S.
This is certainly not a moment for panic or high anxiety. It is a moment for vigilance.
This as some 3 billion trips are expected to be made by Chinese citizens heading home to celebrate the Lunar New Year Spring Festival.
Coronavirus came like an absolute thief in the night. It just moved right in. We all thought that this was something very small that would have passed easily, but ended up becoming one of the biggest financial hardships anybody has experienced since probably 1919 or 1920, when this great Spanish flu swept through America. And whatever your beliefs are on whether this was man-made, where it came from, how deadly it is, maybe it's not deadly, one thing that we know for sure is that it has taken an absolute devastating toll on our financial economy, and a lot of people have lost their jobs. Some of you watching this might be out of a job right now, and it's hard. I mean, when you don't have any money, anything it's hard to live without money. I mean, we all need money. It's something we can't avoid at this point in time of our lives. But with all this financial hardship that has happened, and with all these businesses and people losing their jobs and people even losing their houses, what does this mean for the real estate industry, and how has it affected wholesaling in general? So in some areas, real estate could be booming, which people are buying houses, selling houses, and everything is, people are making money, flippers are making money. Or you could be in an area that maybe you're going through a real estate recession in your area, where people are having a hard time selling their houses. There's a lot of people selling, but not enough people buying. I know that here, I live near Charlotte, North Carolina, and the economy here is booming. Even during this whole pandemic, with a lot of companies shutting their doors, the real estate here is still booming because there's a lot of people moving here. There's a lot of new jobs being created, and with jobs and people come more houses. So price of housing is going to go up because demand has definitely picked up. I think we get like 30,000 new residents in the Charlotte area every single month, and we don't have enough housing to fulfill that demand. I think we get 30,000 places to live within 6 months. So definitely the demand is way higher than what's available. And that's been helping out a lot, especially here in North Carolina. A lot of areas, people are moving here. It's a slower paced lifestyle, cheaper cost of living. Some may say it's gone up, but I came from an area where cost of living was through the roof, which is sunny South Florida. It's something that has helped out a lot here, and even in your area, I'm sure that there's some type of economic boom happening either in your area or close by that'll affect your real estate and wholesaling. So how has this affected wholesaling in general? So how did wholesaling change? Well, for me, it changed quite a bit, because in the beginning of when this whole pandemic thing happened, everybody was scared to buy. Everybody was scared to really jump out their comfort zone and, invest some money into a house. So a lot of our buyers got scared away. The other determining factor was that hard money got harder to get. Interest rates went up, requirements went up, loan to values went up. So a lot of the guys that were buying with hard money, basically the cowboys of investing, they dried up. They didn't have any way to get any money to buy anything. So it got harder to move a couple things in the beginning. This house right here being one of them, that when we first started out at the beginning of the year, we had just picked this up right when the restrictions of coronavirus were happening. So it slowed us down. It took a minute to get a buyer in. Once we did get one, he ended up getting scared away because he couldn't come up with hard money, basically, is what really happened. But a lot of guys are now giving us, a lot of backlash for holding this property for so long, because now they're wondering, hey, is there something wrong with this property that nobody wants to pick it up? And in reality is there's nothing wrong with it. It's, a normal fixer-upper like any other property. It's just we had a buyer that was leading us on to believe that he was going to buy it when he really couldn't. So after all of, the restrictions happened and all the, people started losing their jobs, the real estate industry really dried up, and people were really worried because, just like you guys were probably wondering, where do we stand here? Like, what's going to happen in the next couple of months? Am I going to lose my job? Am I going to, lose my house? What's going to change in the economy? Is this the beginning of the recession? So a lot of unanswered questions, a lot of uneasiness that was happening, and it scared a lot of people. It even scared me, because I was wondering, what's going to happen in these next couple of months? Are we going to still be in business? Is wholesaling dead, like everybody loves to claim? But we were able to persevere. We were able to push forward. And even though we got a little bit of resistance in the beginning of how everything was going, we still kept pushing. And that was the most important thing. Literally right in the beginning of the pandemic, so right when all the restrictions started happening, I was able to wholesale my very first trailer. And this is a big double wide trailer. We wholesaled this right in the beginning of the pandemic, during the shutdowns, during everything. This thing closed and we were able to make $5,000. So definitely a great opportunity to be able to do this. Very first time wholesaling a trailer. Now, in the position that we're in, properties are becoming more plentiful. There's a lot more people interested in selling because they don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of months, and they want to make sure that they have some type of cash reserves available, because if the market does roll over and people can't sell their homes, then they have money sitting that they can't touch, which could be good for some people, but for others, in a situation where maybe they need the money now, they're not going to be able to get any money. So that's why it's picked up, and there's been more properties available to wholesale. There's been more sellers, and still a lot of new buyers, and even buyers that were sitting on the sideline for a while. They've been picking up and buying like absolute crazy. I have one buyer that we've already sold 3 properties to within the last month, and another buyer where he is trying to find as many properties as he possibly can during the whole uncertainty period. These guys are not speculators. They're just literally just riding the wave. Market's down right now, getting beat up. This is the time you should be buying. With that being said, what does it mean for a new wholesaler or somebody who's just getting started? Maybe you haven't done your first deal, or you are scared to get started because you're like, maybe I should wait till this is over. Or some of you might be even saying, is it too late for me to jump in the game? Like, has the wave already passed? Or the opportunity point for me to jump in, has it already passed? And I'll tell you right now, wherever you stand in how you feel, or where you feel that you are, or you feel like you're not ready, this is the perfect time to get started. If anything, this is an even better time than it was 6 months ago. The reason I say that is because there's more properties, there's more people that need help, there's more uncertain situations for some people. Might have lost their job, or something else traumatic might have happened in their life. Maybe they lost a loved one due to coronavirus. You can help these people out, and you have the opportunity to help them out. So I would say, if you're new, if you're trying to get started, want to get started, get started. That's the only thing holding you back is yourself. You, right there. You're holding yourself back from succeeding. So you should definitely change that up for yourself, and get started as soon as you possibly can, because if you don't, you're gonna regret it. And it's not that you're gonna regret not starting now because later you're not gonna be able to. You're gonna regret not starting, period. That's probably the biggest regret I ever had, was that I didn't start sooner than what I've done now. This house though, man, I am really going through it with it. I mean, you got a lot of junk back here and whatnot, but this house has been a major pain in my butt. But with all great things comes also not great responsibility. No Spider-Man quotes here, but basically you got to take the good with the bad. Sometimes you get a bad apple like this one. We've been trying to sell this thing for a while now, and taking a hit, even paying the mortgage for the seller. We're willing to take that hit because we promised him that we were going to be able to get this thing sold, and still nothing. As of right now though, we did assign this today, so I am happy about that. But I'm only gonna I'm not gonna count my chickens before they hatch. We're not making anything on this. We're basically recovering what we've already spent in the mortgage, which is about $2,000, and just try to get this thing out of the way, especially for the seller's sake. You remember, people before profits, something that I live by every single day. I don't believe in worrying about my money first. My money's gonna come whenever. I just got to make sure I help out as many people as I can, and that's what this business is all about, helping people. If you're not interested in helping people, you definitely shouldn't be wholesaling. But this one has been a doozy for us. It's a nice little property too, man. It sucks that it has a couple of things that some people don't like the fact that it's in a neighborhood that's not, I wouldn't call this a grade A neighborhood. It does need some help, but at the same time, the house has had a lot of homeowner renovations, and the homeowner renovations look really, really sloppy. So that's what's hurt us on here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you also guys enjoyed seeing one of my mistakes here, which is this one. We definitely still do have it under contract for more than what it's worth, for us at least. For a flipper, they might want to pick it up a little bit less than what we have it, but we're still going to try to make this work. So if you're watching this on YouTube, guys, shoot me a like, as well as subscribe, hit the little bell notification icon. That way you can be notified anytime I drop some new videos. And if you're watching this on Instagram, like and share this with somebody that might benefit from it, especially you guys that are trying to get started in wholesaling. So I hope all of you get off your butts and get out there and try to get some properties under contract and try to move them. If you need any help, feel free to reach out to me. I got a lot of people in a bunch of different cities and states that are always willing to help and joint venture on any projects that you might have to be able to move. So take it easy, everybody. Hope you all are doing well and stay safe.